So what did she do? Nabi Sulaiman found out from the hudhud, he found out that there is a lady whose kingdom is as great as his kingdom. He told the hudhud, where have you been? The hudhud described the kingdom. Nabi Sulaiman wrote a letter to the lady, to the Queen of Sheba. Notice, Nabi Sulaiman doesn't say, you are a queen and you are in politics, I can't speak to you. No. There's a respect. The ladies in a political system, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, this is an honorable letter from Sulaiman to the Queen of Sheba. When she read the letter said, I invite you towards worshipping God. Why? Because her people were worshipping the sun. So Nabi Sulaiman told her, come towards worshipping God. When she received the letter, she said, I'm not sure, oh my advisors, what do you think of Sulaiman? Politically, she doesn't compromise her modesty. She has a set of advisors, she discusses with them. They say to her, it's up to you, what do you want to do? She said, I'm going to bribe him. Because a true prophet of God would never accept a bribe. So she said, I'm going to send him the best of gifts. Let's see if he still wants me to join his religion. When Sulaiman receives the bribe, he's thinking, well, this lady's disrespected me. As in, she really thinks a bribe's going to affect me? I want that lady to come towards our court. So we are able to discuss with this lady and see what she is. When she comes towards the court of Sulaiman, Sulaiman asks one of his advisors. He says to the advisors, who can bring me the Queen of Sheba's throne? She had a majestic throne she used to sit on. Do you know what we're talking about? Imagine I'm in Canada and I ask one of you, who can bring me a throne of the President of Australia? One of the jinn, because they used to be servants of Sulaiman, said, I'll bring the throne. Another person called Asif bin Barkhia said, I'll bring the throne, without even a blinking of an eye. Straight away the throne was there. It goes to show you a non-prophet can do such a thing. So don't be surprised if people tell you non-prophets can't do miracles. What happened was, that came. When it came, she came towards Sulaiman's palace. When she came towards Sulaiman's palace, the narration states to us, she entered his palace. You know how she entered the palace? She entered the palace, she saw the throne, she couldn't believe it was her throne. Yet like any politician, what did she do? Like any politician, she came forward, and when Nabi Sulaiman said to her, is that your throne? She replied by saying, it looks like my throne. Politicians never give the clearest answers. And so at that moment what happened is, she started walking in. Nabi Sulaiman, do you know how his palace was? His palace was a palace where the ground, you could see water through the ground. So when you'd walk, you wouldn't see the fine glass that covered the water. When she started walking, she lifted her dress. She didn't want the dress to become wet, thinking that it was water only. As she stepped, she realized that there was fine glass covering the water. She then said, if a prophet of God can have a palace so fine that it deceives the eyes of Sheba when she is walking with such fine glass, then how about the Lord who created Sulaiman? Imagine. And she politically, the Quran praised her. Like the Quran praised Asiya, the wife of Pharaoh, for politically defending the magicians who were defeated by Moses, by politically speaking out against Pharaoh, by politically receiving execution after speaking out against injustice. Because the Quran wanted to stress on which point? The Quran wanted to stress on the idea, وَالْمُؤْمِنُونَ وَالْمُؤْمِنَاتُ بَعْضُهُمْ أَوْلِيَاءُ بَعْضٍ يَأْمُرُونَ بِالْمَعْرُوفِ وَيَنْهَوْنَ عَنِ الْمُنْكَرِ وَيُقِيمُونَ الصَّلَاةَ وَيُؤْتُونَ الزَّكَاةَ. Look at the order. The order is important. The believers, male and female, are to protect. They are guardians of one another. Guardians in which sense? Guardians in which sense? In the sense that they enjoin that which is good and they forbid that which is evil. Enjoining the good and forbidding the evil is a Muslim political female. That her role is like the male. In the same way the male has to enjoin the good and forbid the evil politically, Likewise, the female must achieve this as well. And that's why you find in the build-up of the religion of Islam, were it not for the Muslim woman, politically, this religion would never have been built. It was Muslim women who politically entered the political scene, and they spoke out against injustice. And they defended the male elite, and that's how the religion was built. Let me give you an example. Asma bint Umays, the wife of Ja'far ibn Abu Talib. Ja'far ibn Abu Talib, when Rasulullah told him, go to Africa, do you think it was easy for him to go to Africa? Do you think it's easy for someone to migrate from their hometown to go to Africa? He had to leave Mecca to go towards Africa. Did he go alone? No. He went with companions. Did his wife come with him? Yes. Asma bint Umays went with him to Africa, and it was in Africa that she gave birth to the first Muslim. Who? Abdullah ibn Ja'far, the husband of Sayyida Zainab. Abdullah ibn Ja'far, the husband of Sayyida Zainab, is the first Muslim to be born in Africa. Because Asma went with her husband Ja'far. And when she went with her husband Ja'far, she defended him and stood alongside him politically. Because they had to meet the priest of the Christians. Ja'far ibn Abu Talib was narrating the story of the Quran, the story of Mary, the mother of Jesus. She stood alongside her husband and was a backbone to him. That's why Abu Musa al-Ash'ari narrates the hadith. He says, Asma bint Umays one day came to visit Hafsa, the daughter of Umar ibn al-Khattab. When she came to visit Hafsa, Umar walked into the house. When Umar walked into the house, he looked and he said, who's that lady there? The reply was, Asma. At that moment, he said, Asma, who had gone on the sea migration? The reply was yes. He said, we are greater than you, because we migrated alongside Rasulullah. To which Rasulullah replied, no. They are greater because they did two migrations. One with the sea and one back towards Medina. And therefore you found Asma politically as a female, stood with her husband, and politically was involved, number one. Number two, Salama, the wife of Rasulullah. In the Treaty of Hudaybiyah, do you know what happened? Rasulullah, when he agreed the terms of the Treaty of Hudaybiyah, some of the companions came and said, why have you made a treaty with them? Today we question your prophethood. We want you to fight them. Why have you made a treaty with them? Rasulullah became sad at that moment, that those companions had a mouth to say something like that. And it's ironic, it's the same companion all the time. And so what happened was, when it came towards Rasulullah, Salama was with him in the house. Rasulullah said, look, oh Salama, look, you find these people speaking out against me in this way. She said to him, Ya Rasulullah, do not worry, I am with you. And I am your backbone. Your political decision is a decision with wisdom. Of course, he knew it's one of wisdom. But politically, he even asked his wife, what is your opinion about what they say? His wife consoled him and acted as a backbone for him while in the tent. Therefore, you found within the Quran and within the Hadith many great Muslim women who made religion and politics mix with each other. They had their religious principles and they sought to implement them in the political life of the nation. That's why when Shariati comes to discussing Fatemeh, he says in his book, Fatemeh is Fatemeh. Yet then he examines it in the most beautiful of ways. A way only Shariati can examine. As in I tell you, when you follow this school, we lost greats like Dr. Ali Shariati. We lost Sayyid Muhammad Baqir al-Sadr. We lost Shaheed Mutahari. We lost Sayyid Mahmoud Taliqani. You think these are small individuals we lost? Each one of them dying in their 40s, or maximum in their 50s. Each one of them died because of a killing. Ask yourself, when you follow Ahlul Bayt, do you have a passion to look after them? Or is it that you want to live in this world forever simply as a cultural follower of a tragic school? Because when you follow Al-Muhammad, either you're following a tragic story of 14 individuals, or you're following a way of life where you sacrifice from yourself in order that that school remains. Taliqani, Mutahari, Sadr, Shariati, Dastaghaib, Bahashti, Bahanar. Each one of them gave away from themselves, but each one of them was in the intellectual elite. You know what Mutahari says about Fatimeh?